What's up, guys? It's Meg, and it's that time of the week again where we get to talk about the best show on television, AMC's The Walking Dead. Today we're talking about Season 6, Episode 2, called JSS. What a friggin' amazing episode last night. I am just blown away at just how great The Walking Dead is every single episode, and it just keeps getting better and better. Before we get into the review, I have two things to tell you. One, obviously I'm in a weird location and the lighting is weird, and I'm sorry, I'm having some home problems at the moment, and it just was not, I was not going to be able to film at home today. And so I'm also filming on a different camera, which is why it probably looks different. It doesn't look as great because I'm not filming on my good camera. Also, there's weird background noise, and I don't know, bear with me. And cars driving by. And the second thing is, a couple videos ago, I posted a link to my Facebook page for Weekly Walker Talk. I'll put the link in here somewhere as well. But that is a Facebook page for YouTube for this Weekly Walker Talk. You can talk to me about anything there. You can message me there. I've been receiving some friend requests to my personal Facebook page, and I don't want you guys to think that I don't like you or something. I do. I like all of you. But right now, I'm not accepting any friend requests on my personal page. And that is just a personal preference for me. I have a daughter, she's young still, so really it's for safety reasons, and just I post personal things on there that I'm not ready to like tell the world. So just please understand that. Maybe in the future I will. I just have my close friends and family on there now, and some of my YouTube friends that have been my friend for a while. So that's it for that. Let's get right into the review. So the episode opens up with this Enid flashback scene where we get to see what she went through before she came to Alexandria. Now, as I was watching this, it's like, wow, that's pretty brutal, seeing your parents eaten right in front of you and then being forced to survive as a young person in such a crazy world right now. And we really saw like her primitive survival instincts kick in. And as she's eating this poor tortoise, we see her like consistently writing JSS everywhere to like the obsessive point where I started thinking, you know, what could this possibly mean? Is it initials? Like she keeps doing it whenever she's like worried or upset or thoughtful. And then we find out at the end of the episode that it means just survive somehow. But we didn't find that out throughout the entire episode. You know, they don't really mention it again after we see her arrive at Alexandria. And at the end of the episode, we have this crazy action-packed episode, and at the end, we see the note that she leaves Carl, and it says, just survive somehow. And then I realized this entire episode is all about each of our characters, even the wolves, surviving, just surviving in their own way. They're all just surviving somehow. And I thought, wow, that's a really great underlying theme here. So not only are we getting this amazing action-packed episode that is just like crazy and brutal and scary, but we're also getting this underlying theme of survival and what you would do in order to just survive somehow. And I thought that was a really awesome underlying theme there. So we have characters like Spencer, Deanna, Olivia, all hiding in order to survive somehow. And I like Spencer. It's funny because he would have been the defender of Alexandria had Rick's group not shown up there. So I found it very interesting to see him kind of finally be put in this scary, crazy circumstance where he needs to defend Alexandria, and he is not even a good shot. We find out, you know, that he's scared. He's kind of chickening out. He's like, he just wants to run. He doesn't want to help. He wants to run and hide. I like this because this is also something that happened in the comics with his character. And I liked seeing Olivia hiding in the closet, and Deanna, you know, she's supposed to be the leader of the group, and yet she can't fight. She can't defend herself. She doesn't know how to shoot a gun. And so she ends up hiding too. And they're all just surviving. And that's how they're choosing to survive this crazy thing that's happening. And then we have Carol, like characters like Carol and Jesse and Morgan, who are all, you know, fighting to survive. And I loved Carol in this episode. She was so amazing. And I've always been a big Carol fan. You know, she's one of my top 3 characters. And I love her. And I love that she's kind of this chameleon where she can blend into the background of things and go unnoticed. But also that she's this like amazing adaptable person where she's like the ultimate survivor. I mean, she knows how to fight. She knows how to shoot. She knows how to blend in. And she's really like always thinking things through. She's always observing. And I really enjoyed her in this episode. I do sometimes feel when I see her character like this that they're playing her up to be a little bit invincible. And they're also playing her as very, you know, hardened by everything that's happened to her. And she's just like, you know, shoot to live. That's what you do. And I thought it was really important that at the end of this episode, we see her break down and cry. So before all of the action happened at Alexandria, we see her telling Sam, you know, you have to just put it away or it'll eat you up. And then we see her telling Morgan when Morgan says, we don't have to kill. And she says, yes, we do. And it seems like she's just like in the zone. You know, she files everything away. She's not going to deal with any pain of killing people. She's just doing what she has to do to survive. And that's a very great quality to have in the apocalypse. However, you know, you don't see a lot of things affect her emotionally. And so at the end of this episode, when we see her sit down and she's trying to rub the W off her head and she's crying, I think it was really important to see that from her and to see that she's still capable of that kind of emotion. I also want to talk about Jessie. I was so pleasantly surprised by her character this episode. You know, I've been one who, this whole time, I haven't thought much of her. I haven't really liked her, but I haven't really hated her. I want her to have the same death as she did in the comics. At least I did up until this episode, because I thought her death in the comics was effective and brutal, and I liked it. I liked that Rick had to choose to do something like that to save people that he loved. And so I still kind of want that to happen in the comics, but after seeing her character this episode, I found that I could really relate to her as a mother and what she did in order to save her children. Being a mother myself, I definitely have that mom bear instinct, you know, where you are willing to fight to save your children. And she really portrayed that, the actress, really portrayed that in this episode. And I felt that mama bear instinct just like she appeared to be feeling it in this episode. I guess I could say it would not be a horrible, no. So I guess I could say it would not be horrible if she didn't die the same way in the comics. I think at this point I would be okay with her sticking around. Even if she doesn't become Rick's love interest like Andrea, you know, I don't think we're gonna have a very specific Andrea like we do in the comics in this show. I mean, we've seen Sasha, who has a big part of Andrea's role in the comics, and I don't believe Sasha's going to get together with Rick. So we are going to see, you know, a lot of those Andrea qualities go into different characters. And I would be, at this point, I would be okay with Jessie sticking around a little while. I mean, obviously I want someone to have that death, but I liked her. I liked the way they portrayed her in this episode, and I'm excited to see if she continues being this strong woman. I'm also excited to see how Ron's relationship with her is affected as well. We finally got to meet Denise, Dr. Denise Cloyd. I love the way they're portraying her character in the television series. She is definitely like a nervous wreck. She has panic attacks. We find out that she's not really a doctor. She went to medical school, but she decided to be a psychologist instead when she started having panic attacks. I love that about her. I don't think she was like that in the comics. Am I right? I'll have to go back and read, but I like that she's kind of this like nervous, like she's not confident in her skills. And I don't know, in the comics, she had a relationship with Heath. Am I right? I'm pretty sure she did. So I'll be interested to see if they have that same kind of relationship in the TV series as well, or if it'll go a different route. In those Denise scenes, we also met Holly, and we got quite a few really funny scenes with Tara and Eugene. I am loving this Tara-Eugene dynamic. It's like they're friends now, and he still is like having word vomit all the time, and she's just looking at him like, are you serious right now? I love that. I love Tara's comic relief in this show. It's great. But But the Holly, we have to talk about Holly. Okay, so from the beginning, I have thought that Francine, when we saw her at the construction site being saved by Abraham, I have thought that Francine was going to take Holly's place. But when they started name dropping Holly in the show, I was like, okay, well, maybe we are going to get Holly. And I predicted right. I was so proud of myself. I predicted that the blonde woman in with Denise that had been stabbed was Holly. And indeed she was. I really did not expect her to die though. She didn't have any lines. She just died. And Denise wasn't able to save her. And it was just like, what? And I just feel like Gimple and Kirkman were just trolling us this whole time by name dropping Holly and being like, haha, sorry guys. So yeah, I mean, there's no Holly, but I'm confident that Francine will take that Holly's place with Abraham that she had in the comics. So I don't think it will really affect the story too much. I think we'll just see Francine in that role instead. Poor Aaron. After the wolves are done attacking and they leave and there's just the aftermath, all of our survivors are going around and stabbing, you know, everyone in the head to make sure they don't come back as walkers. And we see Aaron find the bag that he left at the wolves warehouse. And he sees the pictures of Alexandria and he realizes that it's essentially his fault. Well, he believes it's his fault. Obviously, it was an accident that he left it there. He never meant for them to find it. But he feels like it's his fault that he brought this destruction and these murders down upon Alexandria. And I love Ross's acting in this episode because when you see him realize this and he kind of is like shaking and trembling and he's just like in shock that and realization that it's his fault that this happened. I loved that acting. I mean, you really felt it. And I love the quality of acting that we see in this series because you really feel all of the emotion that our characters are going through. And I just think it's fantastic writing. I'm interested to see where his character is going to go from here. Obviously, he's going to feel an immense amount of guilt from this tragedy that's happened. He's going to feel like it's his fault. I don't think anybody's going to be able to talk him out of it, you know, out of feeling that it's his fault. Obviously, it was an accident, but I think when you feel that amount of guilt, it would be hard for him to move past it. I think that we'll also see him not wanting to go out on you know, runs to find people like he used to. He used to say it's very important to find people, but I think after this accident, I don't think that he's gonna want to go out anymore. All right, I've saved the best for last. Morgan, we've got to have a talk, Morgan. It's gonna be like my Rick rant here. I'm gonna have a Morgan rant for like 2 seconds. First, let me start off by saying I'm super excited Morgan's back. I've loved Morgan so far, but man, he really upset me in this episode. You know, he's living by this motto, all life is precious. We don't have to kill people anymore. And he let a couple of the wolves go originally by, you know, when they tried to kill him in the forest before he came across Rick's group. And he let them go. And then they've come back and now they're killing everyone. And, you know, while this is happening, he says to Carol, you don't have to kill them. And she's like, yes, we do. And we see him give Father Gabriel his gun and we see him try and attempt to tie up this wolf and then let them go. And I swear to God, wouldn't you reevaluate your life motto after you've seen all of these wolves butchering, not just killing your people? Well, they're not his people, but whatever, this nice group of people. He knows that they're nice here. He knows that they can't protect themselves here. Rick has told them this. And he's watching them be brutally butchered. And he's still willing to let them live so that they can go and do this to someone else. Because these kind of people, they were enjoying it. They were enjoying murdering and chopping up these people. They were getting a kick out of it. And he just lets them live so that they can go and do it to somebody else. Are you kidding me? I was so upset over it. I was so upset over it, you guys. By the end of the episode, we see him finally kill one, but he's only killing the guy because the guy's tried to kill him multiple times. So it's okay for somebody to try and kill you and you kill them, but it's not okay for them to butcher like at least 10 people, probably more, but at least 10 people in this community that were innocent. And you're just letting like 5 or 6 wolves go. So you know, I'm sure some of you at least felt partially the same way I do. Because we have these two extremes here. We have Carol or Rick, you know, who are just killing anybody who's in their way, and you know, they don't even have a second thought about killing these wolves. And then we have Morgan, who is trying to be this peaceful person, and he doesn't want to kill them at all despite what they're doing. And I don't think you can have either of these extremes and survive in this kind of world. Like, you have to find some kind of medium here where you maintain your humanity, but you're also willing to kill people who are threatening you. And so by the end of the episode, we do see Morgan finally kill, at least we think he kills, the original wolf that we first met, but he lets 5 or 6 of them go. So I have a feeling we'll probably see them again. Hopefully we'll get that little pig phrase from the comics. If not, I think it would be pretty frustrating to have them just leave it open where 5 or 6 wolves just survived and are out there somewhere. I do want to point out one thing. When Carol hands both Gabriel and Morgan guns and she runs away, Morgan hands Gabriel his gun as well. And Gabriel says, "I'm not really good with guns." And Morgan says, "I'm not either," or something like that, like, "Neither am I." And I think what he's really meaning here is, when Gabriel said it, he means, "I don't know how to shoot. I'm not good at handling guns. I don't know what to do." What Morgan means is, "I'm not a good person when I hold a gun. I'm not a good person when I have a gun." Maybe something bad has happened. Maybe he's killed people in the time that he was crazy and, you know, up until now. Maybe that's what changed him to make him this peaceful person. I think we will find this out later in later episodes, but I don't think he necessarily meant, "I'm not a good shot." I'm pretty sure he meant he's not a good person when he's holding a gun. So we have these mass casualties here at Alexandria. Everyone's trying to pick up the pieces, and we know that a giant herd of 1,000+ walkers is bearing down on Alexandria. Little do they know. So my next video is going to be a look at what's dead ahead on episode 3 of The Walking Dead. We're going to talk about what Rick's group is doing and the herd and everything that we expect to see in episode 3. All in all, I love this episode. What a friggin' amazing episode. Every episode is the season finale. They told us this was going to happen. I'm still utterly shocked at how amazing it's been. I definitely give this episode a fantastic rating. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. We can talk about it there. Feel free to bring up any points I may have missed. I'm in a weird location today, so my notes are a little wonky and I'm feeling a little flustered at the moment. So if I've missed anything, feel free to leave comments. We can have further discussions about that. If you like this video, share it with your friends, and I will see you next time. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.